Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Kristen Finley, registered licensed dietitian and the owner of Be Well 365, coming to you live from El Paso, Texas, here to increase your knowledge of health and wellness. So today is episode number 7. Why do comfort foods make us feel so good? We'll spend today talking about comfort foods and the carbohydrate physiology that results in that mental bliss that we just love and crave. So I hope you had a chance to download the 2 handouts. Simple processed carbohydrates was one of them, and the other one, how much sugar do you eat? You can find them on our handouts page under products on our website, bewell365.com. The handouts make it easier for you to understand the concepts of carbohydrate physiology, how much sugar we actually eat, and where it likes to hide. And we also posted those 2 handouts on our Facebook post yesterday. Before we get started, let me ask you if you're keeping your journal. And how did you do with your weekly changes last week? Remember to make one food change and one activity change each week. You practice them all week long to create a habit. So for example, an activity change might be a 10-minute walk on your lunch hour every day, and a food change might be that you're going to have a serving of vegetables every day. So were you able to practice the changes that you chose, and did you create some new habits? Journaling is a great tool to get started with lifestyle change. It's not forever, but at least 6 months, which is about how long it takes to make lifestyle change that lasts. And the good thing is journaling can always be restarted if we find that, we're slipping back into our old ways. Today is National Comfort Food Day, so of course we have to talk about comfort food. There's no single definition or list of comfort food. It just depends on your heritage and where you grew up. But all comfort foods are about 3 things: feelings, intense carbs, and physiology. So think for a moment, what is your comfort food of choice? So mine, hamburger, French fries, and a classic Coca-Cola comes to mind immediately. But honestly, I have a list of comfort foods from which I choose when I am looking for comfort. Let's first understand simple processed carbohydrates, which is the basis of most comfort food, and how they break down and function in the human body. Simple processed carbohydrates are the foods made with white flour and refined sugar. We often refer to them as the white stuff. So I'm talking about white bread, of which there are many selections, not just sandwich bread, simple saltine crackers, simple cereals like corn flakes and Rice Krispies, regular pasta, white flour tortillas, white rice, and all the wonderful desserts, pies, cakes, cookies, and sweetbread. These foods are highly processed. So let me explain. So whole grains are comprised of 3 parts, if I can get that up there. Composed of 3 parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. Processing removes the bran, the outer layer, which contains almost all of the fiber, as well as the B vitamins and antioxidants. Processing removes the germ, the inner nugget or the nutrient-rich part of the grain that contains healthful fats, vitamins, and minerals. And then what is left is that starchy endosperm, which is the basis of refined grains and pretty much empty calories. Manufacturers enrich their products by adding the B vitamins, thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, and folic acid, as well as iron and sometimes calcium, according to strict government regulations. But enrichment does not replace the fiber or the nutrient packet that's found in the germ. Comfort foods are predominantly starches and sugary drinks, of course, which are carbohydrates. And remember that carbohydrates include fruit, dairy products, and some starchy vegetables. So no matter where we get our carbohydrates or which ones we choose, they all turn to glucose in the blood, also called blood sugar. So when blood sugar increases, the brain tells the pancreas to produce insulin, which transports the sugar into the cells throughout the body, giving us energy. That means that carbohydrates are our primary source of energy. More on that in a moment. So when we eat whole grains, our blood sugar increases because it's a carbohydrate, but at a slower rate compared to the more rapid rate in the case of processed or refined grains. So let me repeat that. Whole grains increase our sugar, but not as rapidly as processed grains. It has to do with fiber. So if we had 2 slices of bread, white bread and whole wheat bread, the white bread is going to spike the sugar rapidly and the whole wheat bread is at a much slower rate. Whole grains contain fiber, which help to stabilize the blood sugar. That's why we're always encouraging people to choose whole grains. So we believe that rapid increase or spike in blood sugar causes an overproduction of insulin. Consistent overproduction of insulin compels the pancreas to overwork. After many years of this, the pancreas sort of wears out, kind of like a pair of tennis shoes. So what do these simple processed carbohydrates do that make us feel so good? Well, it has to do with the stress and the happy hormones, cortisol and serotonin. Now, this is the short answer. When we're stressed out, melancholy, depressed, or in an emotional crisis, our cortisol levels are elevated. And cortisol is the stress hormone. At the same time, our serotonin levels are low. Serotonin is the happy hormone. So when we eat carbohydrates, especially the highly processed carbohydrates, which increase the blood sugar rapidly, the serotonin levels begin increasing while the cortisol levels begin decreasing. So as we mentioned, comfort foods include many of these highly processed carbohydrates. The key is to manage our selections just a bit. It's not necessary to give up our comfort foods, but a slight variation occasionally will improve the quality of our food intake. So let's imagine that our favorite comfort food cookie is a double chunk chocolate chip chunk cookie. And in that same display are the oatmeal, raisin, and nut cookies. Well, you already know the oatmeal, raisin, and nut cookie is the better choice. So is that one change going to make or break our lifestyle? Well, no, but you multiply that by a few times and we can make a real dent in the quality of our food intake, but still find comfort in our favorite foods. So I absolutely love goldfish crisps. I'm going to show you. They are to die for if you haven't tried them. Okay, so the first ingredient is enriched flour. So remember, we prefer whole, but they're baked. And you know, that's what goldfish is known for. Everything is baked. So would it be a better choice than a fried potato chip? Well, it depends. If the potato chip is real potatoes, fried in plant oil in a kettle with an extra spin of the kettle to remove excess fat, well, then the chip is the better choice, which is the case in the Cape Cod reduced fat kettle chips. So speaking of chips, all sun chips are going to be a better choice than the goldfish products because the first ingredient is a whole grain, and that's what they're known for. I'm happy with any one of these three when chips are on the comfort food list. So now when I make mashed potatoes, I certainly never have just 1/2 cup. Who does, right? And that's usual even if I'm not looking for comfort. Mashed potatoes start with real potatoes, a little butter, milk, salt, and pepper. Really pretty healthy, actually. So the main issue becomes serving size. To manage serving sizes, never eat for comfort after skipping meals because it will be a pint of ice cream rather than a cup of ice cream. The key is to recognize when you're doing it and why. So eating comfort foods can be for lots of different reasons, but guess what? We get a similar serotonin high from exercise. Increased serotonin levels from exercise, just like comfort food, contribute to improved mood and overall mental well-being. So now there is no excuse not to at least occasionally take a walk instead of eating when you need comfort. So back to physiology. As we said, these foods that we're talking about break down into sugar in the body, remember, called blood sugar or glucose. And the thing you need to know or remember is that our brains function only on glucose. If glucose is not available, the brain can direct the body to change fat and protein into glucose. The body never ceases to amaze me. So not only are our brains hardwired to seek out and find sugar to function optimally, but also to make our happy hormones soar like an eagle. Now sugar is making a lot more sense, right? So let's review our resources for today's episode. There were 2 handouts to download: Simple Processed Carbohydrates, explaining the white stuff and how much sugar do we eat, which puts sugar into a little bit better perspective and reveals where sugar likes to hide. We have 3 blogs on the topic. Those pesky processed foods, they're everywhere. The second one is whole grains versus fiber. What's the difference? And the third blog is why do we love sugar? And that's more about the brain thing. And remember, we have the search engine so that you can find the blogs easily. We have 2 videos on our YouTube channel at BeWell365 called Choosing a Whole Grain. And the second one, Choose the Right Snack for Stress and the Blues versus Zapped Energy. So that's all we have for today. I hope we gave you some good ideas and inspiration to start making some changes to improve your quality of life and decrease your risk for lifestyle diseases. Now, we will be making some changes in January. Our Facebook Live episodes will change to quarterly, and in 2025, we'll offer them February, May, August, and November on the first Thursday of the month at 3:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we'll remind you before those dates with our Facebook posts. Now, I want to also tell you about our Wellness Wave subscription service on our website, BeWell365.com, also starting in January. The subscription will be only $5 a month or $50 a year. And although we're still in the planning stages, it will most likely include 2 classes, discount coupons that will change each month, coupons for our products and services, a group page for interaction, and additional support resources that are only available through the subscription. The Wellness Wave will have everything that you need to start and maintain reasonable lifestyle change at a very affordable price. The next Facebook Live will be Thursday, February 6th at 3 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, episode number 8, and will be called Making Sense of Obesity Medications. The episode will alert you to the pros and cons of the new medications that are coming out and already out there, and if they may be an option for you. We'll keep you posted and alert you when the episode is coming up. We wish you a very blessed and Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year. Think, eat, and drink responsibly. Thank you for spending your time with us, and I'll see you next year. Bye for now.